Hey, it's Marcus from Holosuite, here to help experimental artists make more, better music. One of the biggest things that I've learned on my journey to becoming a mastering engineer was how important it is that you keep your monitoring levels as constant as possible when you're recording, mixing, or mastering to make sure that your ears are not being fooled by the differences in volume. And in earlier videos I've mentioned this, that it's one of the most important ways to achieve a consistent sound either between your tracks within an album or even across your entire body of work. When we're working on monitors, this is really easy. All we need is some way of measuring the sound pressure level, whether it be an actual sound pressure meter or an iPhone app. There's an objective way to tell the volume level of your speakers to make sure that you can keep it at a constant level. But when you're working on headphones, this is much more difficult because it's completely subjective. There's no way to stuff a SPL meter inside your headphones to know exactly what you're going to be hearing. So the easiest way we can do this is using a reference. And today I'm going to show you how to do this using Ableton, but you can do this with any DAW using a very basic plugin that will automatically adjust the volume of your master bus to match a reference track. So before we get into it, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Your support will help me to keep making these tutorials for you. Okay, so we're in Ableton, and I stress that this doesn't have to be in Ableton. This is just what I like to use. The same basic principles will apply, so just follow the same rules that I'm doing here, and you'll be able to replicate this no matter what DAW you're using. So the first thing we want to do is add our reference track into the project. In this case, it's this blue one here. I'm just using the mastered version of the same track. So if we can listen here. Okay, so and what I've done is I have added it to its own track. And the important thing that we need to do is make sure that the audio is being routed directly to our output. It shouldn't go through the master section because then it's going to end up going through all the plugins that we have on that section. So we need to make sure that our inputs and outputs are available. So in this case, I click the little I/O button in the corner here for Ableton. And then under the outputs, I need to make sure I've selected external out. And that way the audio will not be routed through the master section. The last thing I'm going to do is mute this channel because we don't want it playing at the same time, otherwise it's going to just sit on top of the rest of it. If we do want to flick back and forth, the easiest way to do it then is to just click on the solo button like so. And then we can quickly go back and forth. Now the next thing we need to do is have some way to match the gain for our reference track with what's coming out of our master bus. Now what I'm suggesting we use today is a plugin called Gainmatch by Letimix, so that's letimix.com. Now it's not free. It costs US $19, but I have to say that this is definitely the easiest way to do this. Otherwise it requires a lot of manual work, so I suggest that you grab a copy of this if you can. It's going to make the job a lot easier for you, as I'll show you right now. So what I'm going to do with my 2 copies of Gainmatch, so Gainmatch allows you to have 2 instances running at the same time. One can be your before instance, so that's where it's going to listen for the change in the volume. And then the other one will be the after instance, and that after instance is going to make volume adjustments up and down based on what it hears in the before instance. So let's have a look. So I'm going to grab a copy and put it on my reference track first. And I'm just going to make sure that this on the left hand side here is set to before. You can see it's listening to the audio here. Right, I'm going to mute this again. Then I'm going to go over to my master bus and I'm going to add another copy. And we need to make sure that this one says after, and then that's going to start making volume adjustments based on what it hears on the reference track when I start playing it. And you can see here that it's already starting to make adjustments. It's adjusting down by about 1.92 decibels, thereabouts. I can click this auto button and it should start automatically doing it for us. And then it's going to make sure that the master bus is always equal to what's happening in the reference track. It doesn't go too loud or too quiet by comparison. And we can check what's happening in the reference track without even having to click solo now. We can just click this button. Before reference track, master bus. Reference track, master bus. Reference track, master bus. And that's it. So now we'll be making sure that we work at a very constant volume. Now you can do this with any reference track. It doesn't have to sound anything like what you're doing, as long as it's that target loudness that you're looking for. You can just chuck it on there. You don't even have to listen to it. You just need to have the plugin listen to it, and then it will do all the work for you. Now, I'm not sponsored by Letimix or Gainmatch in any way. I'm just recommending this here because I really like it and I use it myself. I do highly recommend you check this out. You get a 14-day free trial, or it's, like I said, $19 US as of the date of this publication. It does so many more things than just what we're talking about here. I really recommend it. There is a video that goes through everything that it does. I'm going to include that in the description. So check it out and let me know what you think of this amazing plugin. So I hope this was valuable too. If you have any questions, please do put them in the comments. And don't forget to check out my free resources page on my website, where I've got templates, I've got checklists, I've got a guide on how to get more followers and sales on Bandcamp. Please do check those out. Everything's in the description below. And until next time, keep making music. Cheers.